heard these things are dangerous, and I knew that he'd never let me drive it by myself if I'd have told him I'd never driven one before. So I had to fib a little bit, but I'm gonna figure it out. They got some.
An alligator dragged Pickle under the water, and for a moment, even veteran hunters feared she wouldn't come back up. Tangled in lines, unarmed, and trapped between a deadly predator and an open swamp, the Swamp People star survived a nightmare that would end most careers. Raised in a multi-generational gator hunting legacy, Pickle has faced danger since childhood. But after becoming a mother of 2, every hunt carries new weight. So why does she keep going back to the swamp? And what really changed after that near-fatal moment? Join us as we uncover how one near-fatal encounter changed Pickle's life. The 4th-generation hunter. Pickle Wheat grew up surrounded by the bayous of southeastern Louisiana. Her great-grandfather was one of the original alligator hunters in St. Bernard Parish, creating a family legacy that spans over a century. To them, hunting was a way to earn a living in the unforgiving Louisiana wetlands where traditional employment opportunities were scarce, and the swamps provided sustenance for those brave enough and skilled enough to harvest them. At the tender age of 6, Pickle was already accompanying her elders to the swamps, gaining the necessary experience to not only catch gators by herself years later, but also to love the swampland as if it was her own home. While most little girls in America were learning to read and write in 1st grade, Pickle was learning to read water patterns, identify gator holes, understand animal behavior, and handle weapons. By the time she was a teenager, Pickle possessed skills that most adults would never acquire, even if they dedicated years to learning them. The swamp was the place where she discovered her identity. The pressure to continue the family legacy was always there, spoken and unspoken. Pickle has no doubts that her children will grow to love her profession as much as she does. But here's the dangerous reality Pickle now confronts. Raising her children in the same way she was raised means exposing them to the same dangers she faces. It means potentially watching 6-year-old Memi ride in a boat where one wrong move could be fatal. It means teaching little Casey to handle weapons and confront predators before he's old enough for middle school. The legacy that defined Pickle's identity now conflicts with her maternal instinct to protect her children from harm. But would those childhood lessons in the swamp prepare Pickle for the real dangers that accompanied being a gator hunter? From deckhand to fan favorite, Pickle Wheat's journey on Swamp People officially began in Season 12 when she joined Troy Landry as his new deckhand in the swamps of Louisiana. The season, which premiered on February 4, 2021, opened under unusually high-stakes conditions: an aggressive alligator population, falling market prices, and forecasts of a severe hurricane season. Despite the risks, Pickle stepped into the role with confidence and a background rooted in Southern hunting traditions. Introduced as a petite and unlikely gator hunter, Pickle quickly dispelled assumptions about her abilities. Viewers who expected her small stature, standing at just 5 feet 2 inches tall, to be a disadvantage discovered instead that her size gave her advantages in boat maneuverability, quick reflexes, and the ability to work in tight spaces where larger hunters struggled. Since that debut, she has returned season after season, becoming a familiar face to viewers in Season 13, 14, 15, and 16. Her continued presence has made her a steady part of the series' evolving cast, appearing regularly as the seasons unfold. Unlike some reality TV personalities who burn out after 1 or 2 seasons, Pickle has demonstrated staying power and genuine skill that keeps audiences engaged. Troy Landry, the legendary king of the swamp, who's been hunting gators for over 3 decades, doesn't work with just anyone. Of course, Troy will again be joined by Cheyenne Pickle Wheat on his adventures. The announcement for Season 16 confirmed, cementing her position as Troy's trusted partner rather than just a temporary deckhand. Earning Troy's trust and respect isn't easy. He's seen hundreds of wannabe gator hunters come and go, and he only keeps the ones who prove themselves under pressure, even if the pressures were life-threatening. For someone who's hunted alligators since age 6, Pickle Wheat has faced countless dangerous situations. As noted by the U.S. Sun, Pickle is hardly a novice when it comes to dealing with alligators. A Louisiana native, she has been chasing them since childhood. However, that doesn't mean Pickle's line of work isn't dangerous, and one particular incident nearly cost her everything. She once recounted a story in which she was in grave danger from an alligator. The Swamp People star revealed there was a time when she was pulled into the water by a gator. The incident happened during a normal day on the boat with Troy Landry, checking lines and hauling gators like they'd done hundreds of times before. Routine quickly became life-threatening. "I fell on top of him, and he was swimming in between my legs," Pickle explained. Adding to the danger, she was unarmed at the time with nothing to defend herself if the alligator decided to attack. Pickle continued, "That was a pretty scary experience. He was on the line, and we were trying to pull him up, but because I was already leaning over the front of the boat, when we hit a cypress stump, I went straight in the water." The boat hit an underwater obstacle, and physics did the rest. Pickle's momentum carried her overboard directly into the water where the alligator was already hooked and agitated. The gator, the fishing line, and Pickle became entangled together underwater. A nightmare scenario where every movement could trigger the alligator's predatory instincts. Gators kill by drowning their prey through death rolls, spinning rapidly underwater until the victim's lungs fill with water. Pickle was seconds away from experiencing exactly that. What made Pickle realize just how much danger she was in? At the time, she was with Troy Landry, and his reaction let her know just how much trouble she was in. She noted, "I wasn't nervous until I saw how scared Mr. Troy was." Troy Landry has hunted alligators for over 30 years. He's been in every dangerous situation imaginable, faced countless aggressive gators, and survived hurricane seasons, boat accidents, and wildlife encounters that would terrify most people. If Troy was scared, truly scared, then Pickle knew she was in potentially fatal danger. The incident ended with Pickle safely back in the boat, but the psychological impact lingered. For years, that near-death experience was just another story from the swamps. Another close call that proved Pickle's toughness and Troy's quick thinking. She survived, learned from it, and continued hunting without hesitation. Then she became a mother, and everything about that story changed. Despite this encounter, Pickle has shared the hope that her children might one day pick up alligator hunting. As seen in the series, gator hunting is often a family business. This is just as true of Pickle, as her great-grandfather was one of the first gator hunters in the area. She noted, "Where I'm from, everybody does it. In my part of the world, it's normal." But is it responsible to raise children in a profession where their mother was nearly killed? Where one moment of bad luck, hitting a cypress stump, falling overboard, getting tangled in lines, could leave them orphaned? This is the impossible question Pickle now faces, and there's no easy answer. But how did love and family change the equation even further? Motherhood changes everything. By 2022, Pickle began a new relationship with Joshua Kippis, an emergency medical technician from the New Orleans area. Joshua also has a son from a previous relationship, creating the foundation for what would become a combined family. In November 2022, the couple revealed they were expecting a baby, posting a Facebook picture of themselves with Joshua's son buying baby clothes. "We are blessed beyond belief. This will be the best holiday season yet. I can't wait to bring my little caboose on the alligator boat," Pickle wrote, her excitement palpable even through social media. The idea of introducing her baby to the swamps seemed natural to Pickle. After all, she'd been on boats since she was 6 years old. On April 25th, 2023, she gave birth to her daughter, Mammy Ray. The newborn weighed 6 pounds, 3.2 ounces, and measured 19 inches in length. The announcement was shared with her audience, marking a new chapter in her personal life. Pickle posted Instagram photos of the sleeping newborn wrapped in a flowery blanket, introducing the newest member of the Swamp People extended family. Becoming a mother didn't slow Pickle down, at least not initially. At the start of season 15, which filmed in 2023, Pickle returned to the swamp just months after giving birth to Miami. Despite the emotional toll of leaving her baby behind, Pickle hit the water with determination. Partnering with Troy Landry, she pushed through the Louisiana heat in a historic effort to catch 100 gators in one day. While she was skeptical about Troy's 100 gator quota, Pickle was ready to prove the doubters wrong. Pickle also entered season 15 after giving birth, and she knew what was at stake in terms of accomplishing those tags for a better income. More tags meant more money, and more money meant better financial security for her growing family. Their haul ended at 80 gators, but Pickle helped land 41 of them, a powerful start that set the tone for a 900-tag season. 41 gators in a single day. That's hooking, shooting, hauling, and processing massive reptiles from dawn until dusk in brutal Louisiana summer heat. For a woman who'd given birth just months earlier, the physical demands were staggering. Even as exhaustion sets in, Pickle refuses to show weakness. Troy praises her resilience, admitting he wasn't sure how she'd fare after motherhood, but she proves she's as tough and reliable as ever. But behind the tough exterior, Pickle was struggling. Behind the scenes, she revealed that she was extremely exhausted, that her knees were buckling. But to Troy, she remained solid as a rock, someone he can lean on. This contradiction defines Pickle's current reality. She's physically capable of doing the work, but the emotional and psychological cost has increased exponentially since becoming a mother. Every time she leaves for the swamps, she's leaving Mommy behind. Every dangerous encounter with an aggressive gator carries different stakes now. It's not just her life at risk anymore, but her daughter's future. Balancing motherhood with a career in alligator hunting isn't easy, but Pickle makes it look effortless. Her social media is filled with adorable shots of baby Mamie right alongside pictures of her latest gator catches, showcasing the unique blend of tenderness and toughness that defines Pickle's character. Throughout her pregnancy and new motherhood, Pickle stayed true to her wild-at-heart lifestyle. Photos on Instagram showed her heavily pregnant while hunting, proving that motherhood wouldn't sideline her from the profession she loves. One October 2024 post showed her pregnant while chewing on a piece of jerky during a hunt, telling fans satirically, "When you're pregnant and only care about the snacks." Then came the second pregnancy. In April 2025, just ahead of Mamie's second birthday, Pickle posted a photo with her daughter beside a yellow birthday cake and a framed sign reading "Thankful, grateful, truly humble," revealing she and Kippas were expecting another child. Pickle announced the birth of her son Casey in a sweet video shared to Instagram on April 4th, 2025. "Thank y'all for being so patient. It's a boy." Pickle captioned the video, which showed their first moments as a family of 4, along with moments throughout her pregnancy journey. With her husband Joshua Kippas, Pickle now has 2 children, daughter Mamie, born in April 2023, and son Casey, who arrived in April 2025. Even in the final weeks leading up to Casey's birth, she was still out on the water hunting. Fans celebrated the birth with enthusiastic comments. One person wrote, "Congratulations, he's beautiful and is going to grow up to be an alligator hunter like his mama." Another added, "Congratulations to you and the family. Happy big brother and big sister." But those congratulations carry an unspoken question. Will Maimi and Casey really grow up to be alligator hunters like their mother? And if so, will Pickle be comfortable exposing them to the same dangers that nearly killed her? The dangerous reality she can't ignore anymore is that being a mother fundamentally changes the risk calculation of a profession where death is always one mistake away. But one question kept recurring. Would marriage cement Pickle's commitment to building a future that balanced family safety with her hunting legacy, or would it slow her down? The Belle River wedding and confronting the future. On September 21, 2024, Pickle Wheat and Joshua Kippas were married in an outdoor ceremony along the Belle River. The date held special significance. It was Pickle's 29th birthday, making their wedding day even more meaningful. The site, surrounded by oak trees draped in Spanish moss, was selected for its personal significance to the bride. A wooden arch decorated with pink and white drapery marked the ceremony space, which faced the river. Rows of white chairs were arranged on the grass for attending guests under clear skies and warm Louisiana sunlight. The setting captured everything Pickle loves about Louisiana: the natural beauty, the connection to water, and the traditions that bind families together across generations. The wedding was featured on Swamp People Season 16, Episode 8, titled Gators, Guns, and a Wedding, airing in February 2025. For Pickle, sharing this deeply personal moment with millions of Swamp People viewers represented the ultimate blending of her public television persona with her private family life. Speaking about the location, Pickle stated, "To get married here on the Belle River is just, worth gold to me." The river where she learned to hunt, where her family has worked for generations, where her identity was forged. This was the only place that made sense for Pickle to pledge her life to Joshua. But the wedding included another meaningful element. Pickle walked down the aisle with her father and was married by none other than Swamp People legend Troy Landry. "My daddy gets to walk me down the aisle, and Mr. Troy gets to say the words, so I couldn't ask for anything better," she said during the episode. Having Troy officiate wasn't just a cute television moment. It represented Troy's role as more than just Pickle's hunting partner. He's been her mentor, the person who trusted her when others doubted, the man who was terrified when she nearly died in the water with that alligator. Troy's presence at her wedding symbolized his investment in Pickle's entire life, not just her ability to land gators. At the start of the ceremony, Pickle Wheat was escorted down the aisle by her father. She wore an ivory ball gown that featured a full tulle skirt and a fitted bodice with sequins and pearl embellishments. The bride, who usually wears waders and carries a gun, was transformed into a vision of traditional femininity, proving that Pickle contains multitudes, that she can be both the tough gator hunter and the bride in the beautiful dress. The wedding represented hope, commitment, and the promise of a future built together. But it also forced Pickle to confront uncomfortable questions about that future. Would she continue hunting gators at the same intensity now that she had a husband and 2 small children depending on her? Would the dangerous reality of her profession eventually force difficult choices? Season 16 opened with unprecedented challenges. Record-hot Atlantic and Gulf waters have created devastating weather patterns, with violent storms and tidal surges threatening to cut the gator season short. Climate change isn't abstract for Louisiana's alligator hunters. It's an immediate threat that makes an already dangerous profession even more unpredictable. In the wake of Hurricane Francine, Pickle returned to the marshlands with Troy to confront a cannibal alligator terrorizing their best honey hole at Bayou Bonnefoy. Despite the growing danger and unpredictable weather, Pickle maintains her focus, executing shots and line pulls with steady control. With 45 lines to check and time running short, she pushes through rough conditions to assist in landing an 11-footer and then a 10-footer just before the final winds roll in. This is Pickle at her best: focused, competent, delivering results under pressure when the weather is deteriorating and time is running out. But then comes the moment that reveals how motherhood has changed her. After pulling all the lines, Pickle shifts gears, concerned for her family's safety. She reflects on her experience during Hurricane Katrina and decides to evacuate with her loved ones, including her baby and mother, before landfall. Her practical decision-making, combined with her resilience and deep-rooted sense of responsibility, proves both her toughness in the swamp and her role as a devoted family protector. The old Pickle might have stayed to protect the equipment, secure the boats, or squeeze in a few more gator tags before the storm hit. The new Pickle, the mother, the wife, chooses family safety over hunting obligations. This is the dangerous reality Pickle can no longer ignore. She has responsibilities that extend beyond the next tag, beyond Troy's quota, beyond her family's hunting legacy. Memmy and Casey need their mother alive more than the swamps need another hunter. Do you think Pickle's near-death experience should have been enough to make her quit? Or does her continued hunting prove true dedication to her profession? Share your thoughts with us in the comment section. Remember to like, share, and subscribe for more. Also, click the next video showing on your screen. You will enjoy it.